Oh, to be a lone hermit in a faraway land. A small cottage in a coastal town or a leafy gazebo by the shore. But how lonely is too lonely? In this video, we explore the 5 most isolated places in the world. Palmerston Island. Welcome to this tiny drop of life in the vast Pacific Ocean. Named after a long-dead British Viscount, the Palmerston is part of the iconic Cook Islands, with its origins dating back to 1863 when an Englishman, married to 3 Polynesian wives, settled right here. Today, his descendants continue to live in this isolated piece of land. So isolated, it's over 3,000 miles from the shores of New Zealand and 2,800 miles from Tahiti. In short, it's the middle of nowhere. Even its nearest neighbor, the uninhabited Sugartown Atoll, is about 180 miles away. But it's not isolated due to its unique geographical location alone. It's also a result of deliberate choices made by the ruling family, who want to preserve a more traditional way of life. But hey, living in seclusion comes with its own challenges. With no airport, cars, hotels, or restaurants, the 50 people who live here lead a pretty simple life. And fishing and farming are pretty much the main ways of sustaining life on the island. On the upside, the island still retains the most clear and blue turquoise waters, pristine beaches, and lush greenery for you to enjoy. Sachs Harbour. A small Inuit community on the Banks Islands in Canada. A community deeply shaped by their connection to their homeland, the unforgiving Arctic. Surrounded by vast tundra and ocean water, this stunning yet unforgiving wilderness may just be one of the loneliest places in the world. Established in 1950s as a fur trading post, today only 103 people live in this village, while the local economy is linked to subsistence activities like hunting, fishing, and trapping, all of which are built into the local way of life. But as you can imagine, living in the Arctic is not easy. From extreme cold to the scary effects of climate change. Did you know over the course of a year, temperatures can vary from -22 Fahrenheit to 50 Fahrenheit and is rarely below -34 Fahrenheit. Sadly, residents have to face dramatic changes to their landscape and way of life. Sea ice is thinner and farther from the community, attracting seals upon which locals rely for food. As the permafrost melts away, it also causes the foundations of buildings to shift. In the fall, storms are frequent and severe, making boating difficult in what is certainly one of the most remote Arctic communities we know. Supai. Now let's take a quick tour to this remote village right at the foot of the Grand Canyon. The Supai is home to the Havasupai, people who have a long history spanning over centuries. As the only place in the US where mail is still delivered by mule, safe to say, this village has stuck to its olden ways. With stunning geological formations and cascading waterfalls like the iconic Havasu Falls separating it from the outside world. Home to less than 200 people, Supai is like a glimpse into a life that's closer to nature, where people still hunt to sustain themselves. But don't worry, this place isn't a popular tourist magnet. To be given access, you need to win a highly coveted permit to Havasu Falls using a lottery held once every year in February. Once you have a permit in hand, there's an 8-mile hike by horse or mule. Living in such a unique natural setting comes with its own setbacks. From floods and harsh weather to logistical difficulties, it's crazy how locals are able to preserve their heritage and deep connection to this land. Mulege. Now moving to this hidden gem in the heart of the Mexican city of Mulege. In the local Cochimi language, Mulege means large ravine of the white mouth. As of 2020, less than 4,000 people live here. But that said, the city's history itself goes back to the Spanish colonial era, when Christian missionaries established their first mission here sometime in the 18th century. Surrounded by breathtaking views and the Sea of Cortez, this isolated town has since retained its historical charm over the centuries. While pristine beaches, palm-lined oases, and cave paintings in nearby canyons add another charming dimension to this old town. Most locals still work in the smelting of metals or make leather articles like saddlebags to sell, with limited forms of infrastructure pushing locals to create a more close-knit community. Mulege's isolated location has also spawned a unique culinary vibe. From fresh seafood to locally grown produce, the town's rich cuisine reflects the elaborate creativity of its people. From shellfish machaca to patted clams, who needs humans when you have the best seafood to give you company? La Rinconada. Our final trip is to a place high up in the Peruvian Andes. At an elevation of over 16,700 feet, La Rinconada is the world's highest permanent settlement. This extreme altitude also means people have to struggle with extreme weather, like a heavy snowfall and even snowstorms. The local economy revolves around mining gold, while miners have to work in harsh conditions, from battling the extreme cold and altitude sickness to facing the constant risk of deadly avalanches. Well, folks, there we have it. Some of the most remote communities around the world. If the hermit life is for you, make sure to tell us which of these remote places you'd want to escape to. And before you check out, make sure to hit subscribe so you never miss out.